Alright, peace, beautiful souls. I hope everyone is doing well. My name is Saleh, and I will be your host on this channel brought to you by Celestial Alignments. And now, today, we are going to be continuing our series on the 7 Hermetic Principles. Now, previously we talked about the law of rhythm, which ultimately states that everything manifests in a rhythmic manner. From our breath, to our heart, to the way that the cycles follow each other. The seasons follow each other, And that was the previous video. Now, today we are going to be talking about the law of polarity. The law of polarity ultimately states that everything within the universe manifests in a duality. That is, everything has a counterpart to itself. In the sense that we have day, we have night. We have cold and we have warmth, or heat. We have cold and heat. Right? And then we also have men and women, etc., etc. The dualities manifests within multiple things in life, you feel what I'm saying? But furthermore, the interesting thing about this law, the law of duality or polarity, it states that although yes, there are polarities within the universe for us to witness, these polarities are but extremes of the same thing. In the sense that when it comes to cold and heat, we can't really see when cold stops and heat begins. But that transition of cold to heat we call warmth. It's a blending of the two. I hope that makes sense. And even when it comes to love and hate, for example, a lot of people like to use love and hate as dualities, but in reality, it's more so love and fear. You feel what I'm saying? Love and fear, in the sense that within the presence of love, there can be no fear. And within the presence of fear, there is no love. And those dualities, you feel what I'm saying? It's like we, I'm certain, have experienced experiences with loved ones, where it's like we have such tremendous experiences of love with them, but then we go on to the other side of having experiences of hate, I will say. So it's like just as much as you were able to love that person, you were also able to hate that person. In so many ways, when it comes to polarity and duality, every polarity and duality, in a sense, is on the same wavelength, you feel me? Because like we said earlier, it's an extreme of the same thing, you feel me? So in other words, richness is an extreme of poverty, and poverty is an extreme of richness. Now, I also want to throw this in, you feel what I'm saying? For those of us who are manifestors and alchemists, it's important to understand that when we are manifesting and we are attracting, a lot of the times it's something that's polarized to us, right? So we are in poverty, so we desire wealth. And so understanding that wealth and poverty are the extremes of the same thing, we now have to understand that in order for us to get from poverty to wealth, we have to vibrate on the wavelength of poverty, you feel me, and move on this wavelength until we start to convert our poverty into wealth. And so what I mean by this is you have to go through that transition of what we call warmth in order for you to get to cold. Or you have to go through that transition of warmth from cold in order for you to get to heat. You feel what I'm saying? And so it's the same thing with manifestation. In manifesting, once you come with the realization that you don't want to remain in this duality, but you want to polarize yourself to another duality, you have to understand that it's a transition. And you have to also understand that in a sense, the same materials that expressed as poverty can be converted into wealth and riches. You know what I'm saying? In the sense that when you become wealthy and rich, you no longer have impoverished thoughts. But it's like when you go from being wealthy to poor, you no longer have rich thoughts. So we have to understand that it is about conversion. We are converting things. we are converting, you know, wealth into poverty, or poverty into wealth, which sounds more right, if you know what I'm saying. And so with that being said, the law of polarity, you know, it manifests extremes of things. And so with that being said, our current life, you know, whether it's lonely, whether it's missing something, you feel me, we have to understand that simultaneously there is a polarized version of us that exists out there. We can even call it the quantum field, right? Whom is the complete opposite of what we are. You feel what I'm saying? And so the law of polarity, it is great. It's amazing in the sense that it helps you understand that even for you, your circumstances, they have a polar opposite. Your experiences have a polar opposite. You feel what I'm saying? And so application of this law. How do we go about applying the law of polarity? You know, applying the law of polarity asks us to bring forth the law of correspondence and the law of vibration. You feel what I'm saying? In the sense that when we tap into the law of vibration and we start to alter our energies and our experiences, you know, internally that is, then we are going through that process of change, you know, where we are going from one end of the polarity to the other end of the polarity. I hope that makes sense. So the law of polarity, it's really a law that just lets us understand that within the universe things are polarized, and we apply it through the law of vibration and the law of correspondence. That is, allowing ourselves to match certain vibrations, to synchronize with certain frequencies. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, I would say that's pretty much what I have to say, you know, about this law, the law of polarity, you know. And yeah, until next time, you guys, definitely like this video if you gain some insight from it, you know, and most definitely subscribe, as I will be producing more content. Other than that, peace and namaste. I hope you guys have a beautiful, blessed, lovely day. Peace.